Okay, looking good, looking like we're alive. Ooh, hello everyone, Nehru here, and welcome back. It's about high time that we continue the little nostalgia trip down through the stars. It's time once again for Destiny 1. So, last time we took to the stars, we got quite a lot done. We managed to go and go fight the Hive on the moon. Headed to Venus. Got introduced to the Vex. Had a run in with Aldrin back when he was in just still in full dick mode, but not quite Forsaken level uber dick. I'm gonna kill the bastard because, well, still got a little time between when we meet him here to the events of Forsaken, and got all the way to fighting the Vex and ripping out the heart of the Black Garden. So it's time now to continue. For starters, I have been doing some grinding, so I actually got pretty lucky with between a mix of a visit to Jur to pick up some stuff, which thanks to Jur I was able to get the Hereafter sniper rifle. I was able to get an exotic shard to pick up the Dreg's Promise and the Claws of Ahamkara. I also got a few exotic drops, just legit. One that I put into the storage is the Year 1 level 20 version of the Monte Carlo, and I also got the Telesto. Ooh, definitely got some fun with this one. So, our first stop is to start our working on the Dark Below. Let's see. Eris wants us to head to complete the mission, the Sword of Crota. Let's get started then, shall we? Going right deep into it.
I've been combing the Cryptarch's records for anything on the Temple of Crota. Listen.
Long ago, the moon fell to Crota. He wielded a sword so dark it drained whatever light it touched. Now Crota sleeps, but the sword does not. The warlocks believe the sword is in a chamber guarded by the Swarm Princes. If you face them and steal the sword, we can see that it is never wielded again.
Getting things set up for the fight with Crota, I see.
The only way to destroy the sword is to kill its makers, the Swarm Princes. One of them is said to guard a ritual site near the Hellmouth. We'll challenge him first.
Oh, public command.
Let's do this. I got your back.
Oh, that was the last one. Lucky. Okay. Now let's get to the business. Oh. Materials. Yeah, it really does feel good to be visiting back
The
here
ritual
again.
site is up ahead.
Oh, another public event.
Well, I guess this is important too.
All the grenades. I'm not letting you go, buddy. And now, will we actually be able to make it to target this time? Or will something else come up to sidetrack us? Yep, things are going reasonably well. I managed to hit level 40, and I've been starting the grind to power myself up.
This is where we'll find him. I hope you're ready.
Because, yeah, if I want to be able to do the raids once we get to the end of all this, well, I'm going to need to make sure I'm strong enough to actually enter the raids. Because, you know... I mean, I could go for a lower light level version of it, but it feels like it wouldn't feel quite as meaningful if I gotta try and find the more high strength version of it. Of course, whether or not that's going to be possible. Because I need to, quote, get myself powered up and get a fire team together.
One down. I'll lead us to the others.
Alright, Ghost, just give me that map pointer. Alright. Yeah, ironically
Not to
enough.
unsettle you, but I'm tracking the sword by the light of the guardians it's killed. It's further below.
Thank you for that, Ghost. It's only kind of ironic that both the last stream and this one were starting on the moon. Funny how oh, and another fun thing that came across while I was grinding out this. The reason why this is so interesting is because of the timing, because most recent reprised raid, well, technically the most recent raid in Destiny 2 right now is a reprised raid made Crota's End. And in there, I just fairly recently finally managed to complete the exotic quest for the Necrochasm exotic. And ironically enough, while I was just doing a little bit of grinding here, I ended up getting the quest to drop for the Necrochasm here. So, after putting through all the work to finally get the Necrochasm done and dealt with, I gotta do it all over again. So, yeah, I got the Husky kit, leveled it up to ally, which I have right now. Leveled the Eidolon ally up, so now all that's left is for me
Clear
to
them out.
complete the quest for it, which means I need to do 2 things. Well, 3 things, but 2 of them can be taken care of in the same spot. 1, I have to complete the Will of Crota strike and beat Omnigul. And 2, I need to basically Crota raid and beat Crota on the 390 power difficulty. Then I can get the Necrochasm once again.
Grab the sword. That should lure them out. Careful. Its power is dark.
Trust me, Ghost, this is not. This is barely even touching the amount of dark we're going to be touching. No guard function here. Come on, let's see the big guys.
Lots of movement all around us. The princes are coming for the sword.
One down. Come on, go, guys. Come on, play. I'm touching your stuff.
The sword is gone. They say that was one of the most powerful weapons the Hive ever wielded against us. Cryptarchs won't believe this.
Oh, Ghost. We are far from done. Okay, any loot? Just some armor materials. Alright then. Alright, let's head back to the tower then and talk to Eris. Also, interesting thing, I was actually able to get into a few Crucible matches in the... So, I had to wait a fair bit, and there were a couple of instances where I ended up waiting so long enough to where it timed out, but I was actually able to get some Crucible matches in, and it wasn't too bad. Especially it's getting to see some of the old maps that currently aren't in D2.
These are mysterious, even to me. Very well. Be safe.
Yeah, just by the looks of it, my goal with farming is going to be to try and get enough legendary marks to get myself a full set of 380 gear, just to get my light up to snuff for the raids. We're seeing a decent enough clip.
Still alive?
The Fist of Crota, huh?
Kill Sardon, the Fist of Crota, before the Hive wake Crota's soul. You will all soon face the terrors that haunt my dreams.
Teach the new breed how it's done.
All right. Next stop. The Cosmodrome. First time
We went to the moon
here.
seeking vengeance,
Delta.
but
Hello.
it found us
Welcome.
first. Crota, the son of Oryx. We'd never faced anything like him. In the end, only I was left. Crota and his armies destroyed our moon. If we don't stop them, I fear Earth will suffer the same fate.
Help you enjoy your time.
Sardon commands the Hive spawn on Earth. Search the grotto, find this monster, and see to his end.
Called it. You'll get yours in due time, Omnigul.
Sardan is the first of Crota's disciples. His army helped shatter the moon and claim it for his master. His presence here is a sign. The Hive are preparing to wake Crota's soul.
Yep, there goes the sword.
I survived for years in the tunnels under the moon, using the shadows as the Hive do. Keep your eyes open.
Good warriors. By the time I'm done, everything hiding in this tunnel is gonna burn.
Now that Sargon has fallen, come see me. There is more to do. The rest of Crota's disciples will not cease until Earth is ready for their master's return.
Well, I mean, Shax is always saying to throw more grenades. Is that enough grenades for ya? Or do we need more? I mean, don't get me wrong, Well of Radiance is fantastic and has become a mainstay, but I gotta admit, I do still kind of miss at times having having Sun Singer and having it just pop super over and you can throw all the grenades. Especially since I'm kind of like where I've got myself with my stat roll with my gear right now, because as soon as I'm able to bring it up again, we get past the loading screen. Taking a little while this time around. Come on, you can do it. Anywho, while we're now waiting for the load screen to clear, there we go. I managed to pretty much max out my discipline rating, so now I got the best cooldown for my grenades. Intellect and strength isn't too bad, but right now I'm going for all in on the discipline because I want more grenades. Bonus super energy on grenade kills. Don't mind if I do. Short on Spirit Bloom and Glimmer for the comedian. Oh well. And yeah, I need to get that Essence of Oversoul so I can upgrade the Eidolon alloy into the Necrochasm. Okay, let's check in with Eris. Alright, Eris. Where to next?
You've defeated the Fist of Crota, but the threat remains. Crota's armies are seeking out the last war mind. You must stop them from finding Rasputin. Time is your only ally. Don't let it betray you.
Alright, back to Earth again. Siege of the Warmind. Ah, Rasputin. What a journey knowing you has taken over the years.
Rasputin is the last of the war minds. They were the greatest defense systems ever devised. A massive network of satellites and doomsday weapons built to protect humanity. Crota's army gathers near one of the war mind's hidden bunkers. We cannot let the Hive destroy Rasputin, or worse, control him.
Yeah. This isn't the only time we've had.
There's a secret entrance to the war mind's bunker beneath the Forgotten Shore. Stop the Hive from reaching Rasputin.
Warsat network.
Rasputin remains silent, but still fights to protect us. We cannot let Crota's army find a way around the war mind's defenses, or Crota's disciples will flood the Earth.
Oh, don't worry, Eris. We'll make sure Crota and his homeboys get what's coming to him. Alright, it's up there.
music. Rasputin's in trouble.
Here we go.
I've never known him to welcome visitors. Find the control room. The hive. They found a way inside. Don't let them reach Rasputin.
Don't worry. I'll show them the way out. And howdy, horse. Welcome.
How you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Yeah, just doing the classic thing, running around, killing hive.
Okay.
Find the controls. Make sure the hive haven't destroyed Rasputin. Something's wrong. Omnigul. Silence her screams.
Dear, she ran away again. Oh, there you are. Goodness for overshield.
Let's see, isn't that an ogre?
Is that all you got, Omnipool?
Hmm?
Well done, Guardian. Rasputin is safe.
That was the
Crota's army is
named
more
Hive
powerful than I
Witch that
thought.
was sending everything
cannot
at me
rest.
right there.
Now is the time to
Ah,
stop them from
gotcha.
waking Crota's soul.
Basically the one that's in charge of trying to bring Crota back.
Gotcha.
Basically, one of the lead generals of Crota's armies.
Okay.
Because yeah, we are currently diving into the Destiny 1 DLC Dark Below, which is all about Crota.
Gotcha.
Which technically would result in us going to the Crota's End raid and hunting down and killing Crota.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'm still not far from the minimum light level I'm going to need if I want to go into the 390 power version of that raid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, plus I also need a fire team because maybe do I? Because
I mean, some of the early raids from like big fights, from what I remember, some of them were actually soloable.
yeah, Crota was one of those ones that was infamous for when it first came out. It was one of the hardest ones at the time, but after a certain point, it became a soloable thing. So
Yeah.
I would need to actually look up strats to see if I could actually dare try to attempt to do a solo Crota run. And even if I were to do that, I'm not sure I want to do that at the highest power level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do some research and see if it's still possible and what I need in order to pull off a solo Crota run. And if I actually feel crazy enough to try to attempt it on stream.
Yeah, okay. Hmm.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'll still need to get a fire team together if I want to get the 390 power level version so I can get the Necrochasm complete.
That's fair.
But, huh.
I also accidentally turned up the DPI on my mouse. That was fun.
Oh.
The DPI controls like how much if you move your mouse just a little bit, how much that moves it on the screen.
Ah.
It's currently set to 16,000 by accident.
How the hell did you get up that high?
I don't know. Apparently this mouse can actually get to it. It's a Razer Naga Trinity is the brand name. Well, brand and what it's...
From days
Yeah.
when the light shone
It's
to good use
interesting. 16,000 is is bloody ludicrous. Like, I can't even go, like... Even, like, a little, like... quarter of an inch is, like... Yeah, it's almost to the other side of the screen. And I'm using a decent sized TV as my
The Warmind
monitor.
is safe. The Crota's soul is waking. Go to the temple
Okay,
on
so
the
what's the
moon
presets
before
here?
Crota is made
So it
whole.
was on 1800. That's not too bad.
You can
The next
stop
one up
this.
is 4500, which is, ooh, admittedly a lot better. 9,000, 16,000. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Basically, it's a way for you to set up, if you want to have, like, if you're very good at being all twitchy-like, now you can do some ludicrous things with a high DPI.
Yeah, I'm not good at the twitchy stuff. The fact that I could never really get super into, like, Call of Duty style
6 of us went down into that
multiplayer.
pit. I was
Yeah,
vain
I
enough to believe
I
we could
enjoyed
defeat
everything
Crota.
up
The
to...
Hive caught his soul before we could destroy
I
him,
think the
and there was
last
only death.
online
We failed.
COD I ever
You
did
cannot
was Black Ops
Destroy
1.
the soul of Crota.
because I enjoyed the hell out of World at War, because that one I had some friends, so we would just go online and do shenanigans with.
I mean, World of War was
We
fun
called
for
it a
many
temple where we
reasons.
first saw Crota.
Oh god, yes,
Go,
the
find it,
campaigns were
and make it his
fun, the
grave.
characters enjoyable, the weapons pretty well done, and they were at least reliable in their smackdown of hackers. It's when they turned off the official servers that everything went to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, I mean, it's as far as World War II video games, it's one of the few that tackles the Pacific Theater.
Yeah, it's a very underutilized part of the World War II setting.
And it also gave us flamethrowers.
It did. They were very nice. It also gave us the flamethrower version of the Sherman. That was the crocodile. At least I think that was the name of the flamethrower variant. But we did actually see that one in use.
We hid in the old moon base up ahead, waiting for the right time to strike. We were
But yeah, like I
brave.
said, that is definitely a setting that was never really touched. I mean, I'd say the next lowest one would probably be the African campaign. Actually, no. The Italian. Because we've had at least a few, I think, of the Medal of Honor games that touched in on the African campaign.
That's a name you can think about a lot of.
Wow.
Medal of Honor.
I know, they've... Yeah, it's sad. I enjoy the Medal of Honor games. I had some good experiences
Few of
with
us made
them.
it beyond the canyon.
Like, Finest Hour was a fun one because you started off the Russian campaign. You weren't the guy with the gun, you were the guy carrying the ammunition for the guy with the gun. Because you were in that stage of the Russian war where they had more bodies than weapons.
And one game I quite enjoyed, I like that. The first one more than the sequel, because it felt like the sequel they kind of pulled some of the personality out of it. Battlefield Bad Company.
Ooh. I enjoyed Battlefield, I want to say 3, or it might have been 4. I'd have to look into it, but me and a buddy, and a few of his buddies, we would just be insane on there. That's the one where I once took a guy's head off who was on top of a crane, like, a few miles away with a shotgun. I was quite happy with that one. Chambered some slugs, put a nice scope onto it, and boom! That was the one of the few ones I can actually remember that was a fun one. Another one was going ham in like the Hummer that had like this big old like a missile system in the back and just going ham with it. Like we weren't playing to win, we were playing to have fun.
Yeah. For me, with that company, I enjoyed the single player because the personality of the characters we had there.
Oh, definitely. Bad Company was awesome from what I heard. It's one of those ones I never actually had a chance to play myself.
Well, I guess that might be one I might have to add to my stream list because I know I can get it on Xbox.
Nice. I mean, most of the Medal of Honor games would probably be solid ones to be the stream at least once. Hell, especially Airborne. That one was fun.
Yeah.
So much player control over where you want to start the game off to.
Yeah. But if such when I get around to that company, well, you'll probably find out one of the reasons why I kind of snicker a bit whenever I hear the phrase "There's gold in them dar hills."
Yeah, my favorite of the Battlefield Online experience was I always enjoy in games playing the support guy. So I was the crazy-ass medic that just kept bringing people back. I made sure the rest of my colleagues were beautiful cockroaches. Oh, so many good times. And then they put out Battlefield 1, and eh.
Yeah, I never went too big into Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 2142.
Ah.
Or was it 2042? Because there's there's the one that's the recent one, and the one that's a much older one that's set in the future.
Yeah, I have no clue these days. Like I said, I know there is one, yeah, that's super advanced, is like ships in space and stuff, but and robot soldiers and a whole bunch of other jazz. I mean, by that point, I'd already well and truly fallen off the whole online multiplayer thing. Me, I enjoy myself a good, solid single-player experience. I say definitely one game you might find some enjoyment with would be the Long Dark. Although I think that one's still only a PC game. I don't think that one's quite gone into consoles yet. I'd have to look-see though. It's that survival wonder now where you're set on an island in the northern part of Canada.
You mean
It
Gen
is.
Zero?
No, Gen Zero. That one you're in Sweden.
Right.
Yeah, the Long Dark is an actual survival game. So there's an actual like single player experience, but there's also the single player sandbox.
And,
Yeah.
and James, thanks for the 40 months of Tier 1.
Nice.
A lot of cursed thrall in here trying to look to blow me the fuck up.
I'm guessing they're like suicide tropes.
Yep.
Oof. That brings back memories of grunts. Those crazed little homicidal Ongoi. At the drop of a hat, pull out them 2 sticky grenades and charge. But then again, I always enjoyed the Ongoi. They were fun.
Especially with Grunt Birthday Party and I Would Have Been Your Daddy turned on.
Oh, definitely. And then there's the beloved multiplayer experience of Gruntpocalypse. I do like the canon thing when it comes to them and the Sangeli, the whole Ongoi civil war that happened. Where they actually did give the Sangeli a run for their money. That's the only reason why we actually see them as combatants in games, because they prove to be worthy opponents to the Sangeli.
Find the Wakers. Stop them.
And I think they also agreed that what caused the Civil War was a pretty much a shitty thing in the first place. But yeah, they will always have a special place in my heart. I have fun whenever I'm playing a Halo game, and instead of choosing to attack me, they're just running away in fear, going, "It's the demon!"
Definitely one of the most fun cutscene moments from
They're
Halo
waking
2
his
is
soul.
just Chief going, boo.
Oh yeah. also do like the canon thing. The first human that was taken down by him was done in order to keep an Ungoi safe. But the first kill was actually technically done by Huragok. That was over in Contact Hervis. That was. It was one of the essentially like base trailer truck drivers off bringing a bunch of farming equipment for a corporation. The Ungoi Deacon that was on board at the time there now was trying to do his duty to be, you know, the person keeping everyone in line, so to speak. They're now being the eyes and ears of the Sentium. So he was part of the whole boarding thing there now, and the Huragok was sort of his buddy. Because honestly, most of the other people on board the ship didn't really care a lot about the Ungoi. Probably because it was a ship that was owned by a bunch of Tidgar. And we both know how much the Jackals dislike the our little
Crota! They're waking him!
grunts. Well, it was, I think, initially just like a human being scared because he hadn't expected, you know, to literally see aliens. At that point in time, I think humanity had not met any other alien races, so was basically first contact. You're doing quite well in this fight, although your HP is rather down.
The crystal. Destroy it.
No chance there's probably stuff you've already heard or heard about before now.
Crota's soul
So I think Curl, isn't he big in reading the books still?
Yep.
I thank you.
And getting me to listen
And
to
even if they don't
the
yet know it,
audiobooks
the
as
city
well.
thanks you.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, the early books are pretty good. When you get into the books as takes place about stuff like after the third game is when things go a little wonky. Yeah, because I know the stuff leading up to 4, like, they had some pretty good books out there now, but after 4 was when everything sort of took a pretty big dip. I think it was the Kilo 9 trilogy, which was a bunch of stuff about Oni and the 2 former Spartan members and such there now. And then there's the whole Forerunner trilogy, which was quite enjoyable, I must say. It was interesting to get to see the story behind everyone's favorite glowing eyeball. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was rather interesting getting to see that Guilty Spark was actually a former human.
Huh.
Yep. It goes back to actually one of the Didacs. If you've seen any of the the lore logs in some of the various games, you would have sort of run into a bit of an oddity where you would have 2 different characters, both named as the Didact, with very different personalities. That's because, technically speaking, they're two distinct individuals, but one is heavily influenced by the other. Because it goes into the way that Forerunners actually undergo changes in their society. So all Forerunners sort of start off at this like base level, but they can be influenced by members of the different castes of the Forerunner society. So you would have the Builders, so the ones who make all the insane shit that we saw throughout the entire series. So they helped make like the actual Halo race. They made the giant ass like world prison that the Didact in the fourth game was founded and shit like that. So they're the ones that make all of the stuff. Then you have the Life Givers, which are basically like xenobiologists and botanists. They're all about life in general and just doing stuff with. So one of the ones that's been heavily referenced, what was her name? I want to say the librarian or something like that. Yeah, I actually forget her name now. Or her title. But there's one very well-known life giver in the series. And she's brought up in these books and mentioned her now. She's technically one that was with the first Didact, the one that's referred to as the Didact. So these early Forerunners are called manipulators, or that's like the term for their stage. And then you have like the warrior caste, which is what the Didact was. He was a member of that. They were the warriors, they were the soldiers. So they were meant for taking life, whereas life givers seek to maintain it and stuff like that. So this individual, Born Stellar, was a child of one of the major builders. Actually, I think he was one of the master builders. He was very interested in, like, archaeology is like the best way to describe it. He liked discovering things.
As long as she lives, the threat of Crota's return
So in
will
the
haunt
first
this
book now of the
world.
Forerunner trilogy, he
Track
actually
her
goes
down
to
and
Earth
exterminate every
because he
hive that
believes
stands in your
there's
way.
a major artifact on that world. So when he went there, he met these two different subhumans. One of them is one that later becomes Guilty Spark, as we know him. But that pops up in the second book. So initially, he hired them to help guide him around their world a little bit. Initially, they were honestly looking to make use out of him, to profit off of him. But as things turned out, that didn't exactly go as they planned. Because the artifact that was technically on Earth wasn't really an artifact itself, it was a prison cell. So the Didact was imprisoned on Earth, or not really proper imprisonment. Think of it as like a warrior's like a warrior going off to contemplate things in like solitude. That is sort of what roughly is what he was doing. So he was locked away on that world in sort of like a stasis. Which was interesting because he was the one who helped take down humanity at the time. So humanity was once way more advanced than we are in the actual Halo universe at the current time. We advanced to a point where we even gave the Forerunners hardship when fighting us. But the thing is, now, we were even more badasses than they gave us credit, because while we were fighting off the Forerunners, because they blamed us for colonizing more and more worlds. The thing was, we were being pushed out of where we were to, and so our colonization of all these new worlds was us fleeing, well, actively fleeing our ones that we're trying to protect away from another continent.
What was that method?
Yeah, humanity accidentally discovered what we know as the Flood. Technically speaking, the Flood, if my memory serves me well, are the... they're the ones the Forerunners stole everything from. They're the ones who helped create the Forerunners. They were, oh, precursors. There we go. So when the Forerunners basically hold an Elder, basically the Elder and the Great Old One, when the Forerunners did that, they sort of nicked off with a bunch of shit and almost killed all the precursors. But a bunch of precursors went off away and basically went, we'll come back one day. And that's what humanity found. So while we were fighting the Forerunners, while we were fighting this enemy, we were also fighting the Forerunners, so we're actually a lot more badass than they gave us credit. The thing is, though, they only found out about this conflict after the Forerunners had defeated us and had gone and de-evolved humanity. So that was sort of a whoopsie-daisy on their part, because then they were struggling against this new enemy, and the ones who knew how to fight them adequately, look at what they've done to them.
Straight on fucked up.
They fucked them their own selves up.
That's what happens when you act.
The hive
without,
has stirred the
when you don't
scavengers.
fact check.
Omnigal's clever,
Yeah.
using the fallen against you.
But yeah, like, they found out about that only after they had wiped out, well, they had defeated humanity's forces, captured all their great warriors, and then did what they did. But the well-known Life Giver, she had done her best to keep as many of them safe as she could. Probably due to the fact that she was the wife of the Diadect, the head of the warrior caste that had helped them do this defeat of the humanity. So that's the reason why it was odd that he was found on Earth to begin with, the site of his greatest enemies. That was sort of a thing the librarian had done to her. I mean, done to him. But Bowen Stellar, this technically a Forerunner teenager is the equivalency of what he was. Found the Didact and learned about these various bits of information. So the Didact took Bornstellar and the two subhumans that Bornstellar had hired on off on a bit of a intergalactic road trip. Because he was trying to figure out there now just exactly what's going on at the moment. Because he had been out of the picture for a while by that point. So one of the things he went off to do there now was to go and check in with the Santium. The Santium had helped the Forerunners out. I mean, had helped humanity out in the war against the Forerunners. They were allies. Think about it. The guys who were the head of the Covenant, we were once allies with their people. The irony, eh? Yeah, but instead of being de-evolved as humanity was, they were more or less imprisoned on their homeworld, unable to leave. And I think forced to not be able to go beyond a certain level of technology. But yeah, basically what they got was a slap on the wrist compared to what humanity got. Although it could have been at that point was when they realized just how much they had fucked up by destroying humanity as utterly as they did. So maybe them preserving the sentium as much as they did might have been as a result of that. But my memory cannot remember exactly all of those finer points. But it's at that time they're now, so during this little intergalactic road trip that had happened, the Didact helped Bornstellar to sort of like mature by undergoing this process where usually it would be a number of different forerunners would get together and sort of imbue their like essence or their essence into these teenage forerunners to advance them up to the next tier. So depending on who is, give me a second.
Destroy her!
Okay, sorry for that. That was the folks. So I'm not gonna be house sitting as long as I thought I was. Yeah, 'cause I thought they'd be they said they would have been back Friday, so I would have been looking after the house from Tuesday to Friday essentially. But they're coming back tomorrow. So not bad. But let's see, so I was explaining what was it, the Forerunner way of essentially getting through puberty? So yeah, so the individuals that are helping give their essence to you influences what you turn into. So usually if things had gone the normal way, Bornstiller would have basically been helped out by a bunch of builders to become a more advanced builder. But since the Didact himself chose to help out, he sort of became a bit of a mutt. He was a mixture of both builder and warrior caste. So he did this in order to help Bornstellar understand things better, because along with this whole essence thing, he would also get the Didact's memories and such. So that's the reason why we have two Didacts in the games. We have the Bornstellar Didact, which is the one that the Didact helped to mature. Yeah, he would late them. They would be caught by the other Forerunners when they went to the Santium homeworld, because when they got there, they realized the Flood had already basically taken over the entire planet. So all the Santium that had been stuck in there were all just devoured. Yeah, he's not the son of the Master Builder. He's the son of a very powerful builder, Bornstetter is. Because the Master Builder was technically an antagonist, because he was trying to cover up the whole thing with the Flood was happening. He was trying to keep the greater populace from knowing just how bad everything was going, that they were losing world after world after world. Meanwhile, the librarian, the one that was a lover to the Didact, had helped, was doing her own mission to try and save as many people as possible. So before all of the Santium had been killed, he had managed to collect enough of them to basically allow them to repopulate them once the Halo arrays were deployed.
The agents of Crota's will have been defeated.
So she was the one who helped, was the one that had the Halo rays sort of become walking, talking zoos. That was the only way they got her and her other life givers in on the project, was to allow them to use the weapons themselves as safe areas for repopulating the rest of the galaxy once they were used. So she's the reason why humanity, the grunts, everyone else is around after they fired them all off.
So, question.
Yep.
When they realized they fucked up, is there any reason why they didn't try to, undo their fuck up? Like, just take what they did and reverse it?
They were trying their best, and that was actually what pops up in the second book. Because the second book takes place on one of the Halo rays themselves, and follows the humans that were, the two humans that were Bornstiller that were brought there. When the Master Builder caught the two Didacts and the humans, he basically threw them off onto that world, and they were trying to do some stuff to now with the humans. They were, I think, hoping that digitalizing them, so using the device that the Didact uses in the fourth game, the one that turns people into AIs, that's what was used to turn these humans into these artificial intelligences. But at the time to now, the Flood had found an ally. The Master AI program that was meant to help fight and destroy the Flood had turned against the Forerunners. They had on this one world this entity that had been imprisoned, and this AI had been talking with this entity for years and years and years, trying to understand it, how to better fight it, because I think at the time now they didn't quite know that that entity was one of the Flood. They thought it was a precursor. That's the reason why they were so careful with it. And this is also at a time now where across the entire universe was all these precursor items. And these are like items, facilities, and such that we've never seen, because when the Halo arrays went off, they destroyed all these precursor techs. So all of this like giga like technology is just gone
There are eyes
because of the ultimate failsafe the Forerunners had gone with. Because when the AI program that was meant to be that was offensive bias, or actually no, that might have been it was either a defensive bias or offensive bias. One of the two was the one that turned traitor, and the other one was basically the replacement to help keep him the flood and the precursor tech at bay long enough for the halo rays to go off. I want to say it was offensive bias was the first one. Offensive one was the one that had been corrupted and had sided with the flood. So they made defensive bias to basically be the give us enough time to finish things.
And beg your pardon, but
Yep.
I am sorry, but I just can't hear a thing about hear the phrase precursor relics and whatnot without my mind automatically going to Jack and Daxter.
I have very little information on that series, so I assume precursors are a thing.
Yep. I mean, the big collectibles that you're collecting there are precursor orbs, which are basically the keys to unlocking old precursor technology.
Ah, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But so the Foreigners had tried to fix things, but when offensive bias turned traitor, they took control of a lot of the other Halo arrays, and they took control of a bunch of different places, and I think included a few Halo arrays. Because the initial Halo arrays that were being made by the Alpha site. So the one that we see in the games, that was the secondary one. That was the tiny one that was meant to be a backup.
And also, just to pause.
Yep.
We have now we've officially gone and completed the Dark Below and everything to go along with it. So now,
Nice.
time to move on to from hunting Hive to hunting some Fallen with the House of Wolves.
Ooh, nice. So that was the second book. It covered a bunch of that was being done. A bunch of the old warriors had been preserved by the librarian, and their data had been put into devices much like what Guilty Spark was. So Chakas, the one that the human that would eventually become Guilty Spark, had been grievously injured near the end of that book, and Bornstiller had helped digitalize him. So that was Bornstiller and the librarian who had managed to fight their way into the Halo Ray and managed to sort of get them back.
If we want to keep the Academy's secrets safe, we should push into their lair.
But yes, so that's the reason why Guilty Spark is so messed up, is that he still technically remembers being human. So over the course of that second book, we actually see this is a Oni team that had found Guilty Spark and had managed to turn him back on and was actively interrogating him. And he was telling the story. And at the end of that book, I believe that's when Guilty Spark took over their ship, and I forget if he killed all the Oni members, but he's now back in action in the Halo universe.
Oh joy.
Yeah, I don't know if they ever did make use out of that, but that's technically a plot point, that stuff. So actually no, it might not have been after that book, it might have been after the third book. Because the third book covers the Halo Ray being used and the aftermath. So that's the reason why Guilty Spark was assigned as one of the caretakers for one of the rings. He was one of the victims. So, Born Stellar and the Librarian, I believe they perished when the Halo rays were fired off, but by that point in time, the Erudite had been sealed within the planet that was seen in the Legacy ending of the third game. The one that you guys start off on in the fourth game.
That's gotta be the way into their lair.
So that world protected him from the effects of the Halo rays firing off, because you were technically living inside of a Dyson sphere, which was outside of reality and wouldn't be affected by the Halo rays being fired off. That's the reason why you had all these shield worlds. So if you played through the Halo Wars game, that was a shield world, which was where you ended up to at the end of that game. So that's the reason why going into it was so odd, is because you were technically entering a world inside the world. So that's the reason why that place also had its own sun, because technically speaking, it was a large enough area inside of it. Yeah, there's easily enough space for a sun in there. And not only take up like a tiny bit. So these shield worlds were meant to be part of the whole Halo array setup. So these shield worlds would have helped the Forerunners, you know, survive everything. But at the end, they were never used. So there's, technically speaking, a bunch of these floating around out there that are, for the most part, untouched. And just filled to the brim with a whole bunch of Forerunner tech. And usually a nice little custodial group of Huragox. And one of those worlds was found. That was the Halo 5 storyline? Because that took place after the third game and before the fourth. So that covered one of the Spartan 3s, one that had been reported to have died. They had managed to sort of save her, but they had to remove a lot of her augmentations to do so. So she was quite weakened compared to other Spartan 6s, but she was still at least able to get around and talk and all that. She had been taken on by the spy master that was in charge of Oni, and was meant to basically replace her when she stepped down. So this was her putting together her own little special task force to help deal with the current problem, which was the Sengeli, because there was fears that the Sengeli were going to fall into this whole like civil war thing, and the whole like everything was off kilter after the end of the third game. Because I mean, you had the Arbiter. I mean, he was keeping most of them in line, but you had individuals like the priesthood that were very much at odds with the Arbiter's way to do things. So this individual, Osman, I believe her name was, so she actually took on another Spartan 3, one that had passed all the things to now, and was one of the few surviving ones, into her team along with a few ODSTs. And you got to see some interesting things from Denver now. So them handling the Sengeli and sort of holding a U.S. They were arming the dissidents, while at the same time also placating the Arbiter. So essentially playing both sides at once. So that was a whole thing that was going on, and they found this shield world. This was the same world of Ghost of Onyx. So the planet that the Spartan... Actually, no, Spartan 3, sorry. Spartan 2s are the stable ones. Spartan 3s were the Suicide Soldiers. My bad. So the Ghost of Onyx, the world that the Spartan 3s had been housed on, was one of these shield worlds. So when they went and entered that little space in the middle of the world, that was them technically entering what's known as a Dyson Sphere. So this is like... It's like the scale of one of these things is incredible. It's about like the size of like a star system or more inside of this bubble. And it can be compressed into the size of like a gumball. So you have a solar system amount of area, complete with a sun in the middle of it, that is the size of like a gumdrop. So that's the one that Fred and Kelly had ended up with, along with a bunch of Spartan 3s that had managed to survive Ghost of Onyx. And that was also where the Spartan 2's mama was there too, because she had taken Kelly there in order to try and keep as many of her children safe as possible, because she thought the Covenant was going to kill everyone. So she went to the Spartan 3 world because she had managed to figure out what that world had been. So she was trying to keep as many of her children and grandchildren safe as possible. Because that's, I think, the way she looked at the Spartan 3s. Because they were technically being taught by one of her children. One who had been abducted by Oni, but that's besides the point. He was still, at the end of the day, a Spartan 2. Not only that, but also Spartan 2 that was once part of Master Chief's little squad. So, one of their badasses. And boy, did he have a good death in that book. But yeah, so they find out this like little like custodial group of these Forerunner engineers on board of this planet. They were just like keeping and maintaining the planet, the Dyson Sphere, just in hopes of the Forerunners eventually coming to do what they were supposed to do. You know, live in this place and survive what was going to happen. But no one got there. Which is, honestly, the sad thing, because a few of the Forerunners were actually decent folks, but the Master Builder sort of fucked things up for everyone.
A classic case of the ace of having a little bit too much hubris and jumping to an extreme solution without making sure that they know all the facts.
Yeah, more or less. Like, it was still a lot of people's fault for this turning out the way it did, but the Master Builder definitely had a big hand in that intergalactic oopsie-tur. But yeah, so before them, they were able to fire off the arrays, offensive bias, and like all of this precursor tech and the Flood came after the primary Arc facility. And that's where they managed to get a bunch of the Halo arrays away from there. Like I said, that was where Chakas and his other buddy ended up as being stranded on the Halo race, because at the time the Master Builder had been doing all manners of fucked up, like horrible experimentations on each of these worlds. He basically made each Halo ray his own little personal, experimental, setup. Like, a whole bunch of shit, was being done there. Like, he was trying to use them to study the Flood. But he was also using the librarians' safety subjects as guinea pigs. So the ones that she had helped saved, he was using as guinea pigs. which included a lot of humans. Because for the most part, they were using humans as the guinea pigs because they were the ones who had fought off the flood as well as better than anyone else, even the Forerunners. So they were running into this oddity with some people being, I think, resistant to the flood. So some humans had some type of immunity to
Opening
it.
a channel now. Acknowledge receipt. Goodbye, Guardian.
That was one thing they were trying to experiment with.
We don't want any surprises today.
Warlock.
But in the end, like I said, defensive bias did his best to basically keep everyone else safe while they were trying to get the arrays set up here now. So they had to make use out of the lesser arc in order to patch up the arrays they had found and get them all into the spots they were trying to get to. Once they were all in position, pew. And then you had a very, very quiet galaxy that the flood started
We found
in.
Skolas once. We can do it again.
And the thing is, you know what's the fucked up thing that started this in the first place? Harkening all the way back to when the Forerunners betrayed the Precursors? It's because the Precursors chose to pass
just need to
on
identify
all of
his
their
next
great
target.
wonders, not to the Forerunners as they
It's
thought they
done.
would get it, but to humanity.
Doesn't that sound a whole lot familiar?
Yeah, yeah. So
Thanks,
the
Guardian.
Forerunners betrayed the Precursors. They took what's referred to as the mantle of authority or something. As like the mantle is just like this big like
Upping fallen
power
information.
thing or something. I can't remember all the ins and outs quite, but it was this great big thing that the Precursors had done. It was like their it's like their greatest achievement. I think the mantle inside the mantle was also like all of like this like knowledge and science and like it was sort of this like think like the largest library of all of the knowledge and shit out there as possible, but it doesn't exist in physical space.
Guardian, I can't wait to work with you. Been a long time since
So this was a precursor construct that was like the source of everything the Forerunners had
The
stolen.
last of their Kells. He wants control
Much like the
of
Elder
another
stealing like the
house.
web ways and all that now from the Great Old
He'll kill their
Ones.
leaders and take command of their troops.
But at least the Elder didn't actively take part in killing the Great Old Ones. That was the Orcs and Daemons. But that's besides the point.
Your ghost is feeding me
Yeah.
telemetry. I see what he sees. Why not take one
That's
of
like
those
that's what
heavy
kickstarted
items?
everything. If it wasn't for that event, we
Those heavy
wouldn't have
pipes
had the
come standard
flood.
with
They would
mines.
never. That would never have
Not sure how to
happened.
deploy them, though.
Can I just point that how many problems, not just in that one, but just in general, comes from people who have a overdeveloped sense of entitlement, how they feel like they are owed something, and then react poorly when they don't get what they feel that they're owed.
Exactly, because they felt, and honestly, yeah, they really were the most well taken care of and like the number one child essentially of the precursors was the Forerunners. They were the Elder.
The wolves have control of the House of Winter's artillery.
But yeah, they
Take
had
it
a very
out
high
before they
opinion
take it.
on they should have been the ones to inherit the mantle. not humanity. What's that? Written there? You gonna... Oh, gonna crash. Oh, that's a cute spider tank.
Yep, that's a fallen walker.
Huh. I think it's cute. You're taking a lot of fire.
But there's more than one type around here.
I'm guessing that's the name of your monocycle?
Yep. And another bit of fallen tech.
Yeah, gotcha.
Technically, this is a heavy pipe.
Okay. But yeah. So that's how we got the Halo universe. A bunch of assholes thought they were entitled pricks.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons why in short bursts listen to like readings from r/entitled people, because in one sense it can be kind of crazy just how ridiculously entitled some people can be, but at the same time, if you listen to too much of that, it kind of gets really depressing.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, one thing that came up with my feed recently that as soon as I realized
Last week I was delivering
level of
court
entitlement
messages.
and
Today
was
we're delivering
saying,
explosions.
I couldn't finish the
I
video.
love field work.
Oof.
Get after them, Guardian.
Because it just the sheer thought of that level of entitlement just, quite frankly, disgusted me.
Yeah.
Do you
Let's
know
see.
what this level of entitlement was?
Well,
The House of
The
Winter
thing that made
and
me
Devils
so
and
disgusted
Kings,
when I realized where that
they
story was going
hate
was that
Skolas.
an entitled
They
person who was
think he
basically
betrayed
trying
the Fallen
to
at the
tell
Twilight
Paramax to
Gap.
not save someone because they wanted the money from their inheritance.
oh fuck.
Yeah. The
Your
fuck.
ghost is detecting traces of a
Yeah.
stasis field. Skolas was in a pod for years. It might be him.
What's one thing I'm forgetting now? So, there's also the whole thing that, technically speaking, Halsey is like a pseudo-reincarnation of the Librarian, or at least somehow has some of her in with her. And John is technically, I think, Born Stellar. Or, well, the Born Stellar died.
Be fighting. If the House of Winter already kneels to Skolas.
Yeah, that's apparently a sort of a thing that was done, so some people have, like, these imprints into them. And I believe, from context clues, it appears that Halsey is sort of the one that has, the Librarian imprinted upon her. That's the reason why she was so smart and just so successful. Was because she was technically made to be. She was made to be the super egghead she was.
Did he give himself a promotion?
Which is the reason why we got Cortana as a creation of this brilliant mind.
Perhaps. Or he has gone quite mad.
So you looking forward to watching 2 episodes of Delicious Intention tomorrow? Because we'll have another one dropping tomorrow. So that'll be 2 new ones.
We're getting close. That
Nice
cryo
indeed.
trace is getting stronger.
Got some interesting names. I think one of the ones in the next episode is like some type of like dessert, like a Herbert or something.
Also looking forward to when we can get Scorpio a nickname to
That's the
experience
kill.
the last 3
Take him
episodes
down,
of
Guardian.
Ooh, I mean, we could theoretically try that after we finish the stream tonight.
Perhaps.
And he's gone. That skiff has already broken orbit. No problem, Guardian. We'll get him. There's still plenty of wolves in there. Best clear them out.
Oh. Of course, it's
Hello. So, like I said,
Speak of the devil. There we go.
The ping. Your game audio is overpowering your voice, Nate.
Eh, dear, I thought I turned it down low enough.
Well, you're even softer than Orsk.
I can't help it if I'm a naturally soft-spoken person.
No, I mean your audio volume is softer than Orsk.
Huh, that's strange. You know, hard actually go and find a firefight.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how you're streaming. I just thought I would say that I just happened to open your stream and your audio is coming softer compared to everything else.
Scorch cannon. Powerful and very rare indeed.
But now I must continue what I was doing.
Most indeed. So, you gonna write on how the event with the merchant failed?
I will get to that at some point.
Oh my. You and that moral, what's the way I describe it?
Moral loader. But look at it this way. At least it wasn't the fucking sellsword. That would have been fucking fun.
That's fair. Oh yeah, moral body odor. There we go.
Well, yes, if you're still streaming after the game, I shall come back.
Well, I mean, it sounds like we might have some plan for the finishing of the Edge Runner series.
Oh, if we are, I'll see if I can drag nickname after, since we probably are going to be finishing shortly, and I'm probably going to get yelled at if I don't return to the chat, but like I said, I figured I'd just pop in, let you know, before audio issues get too much, because I know, depending how you have your audio set up, it's a pain in the ass to rebalance and not break everything.
That's fair.
But best of luck.
That's strange. For a moment, I detected Vex energy all around the site. As for you, that was great work. Nice to meet a Guardian that exceeds my expectations. Come back to the reef. Winter now bows to Skolos, and the wolves have just gotten started.
Let's try turning the in-game audio down a smidge more.
Okay, I got your stream up, so let's have a listen.
Because it could be just where I've got my mic set up, because with me doing console, it means I have to look at the screen, so it could be me just kind of going a little out of the range of where my microphone is picking me up to clearly.
Possibly.
Hard to tell.
Indeedy.
I mean, one of these days, I'm probably going to want to upgrade to a higher quality mic, because right now I'm using a blue Snowball that I've had for years, which
I mean, from what I hear, the snowballs are pretty good.
yeah, they are pretty good. It's done me well. But among other things, just like getting one that is a bit better that I can get and put on one of those arms things so I can move it around, so I can keep it properly positioned despite no matter where I'm actively looking at, so I can just have a little more freedom moving it around to keep it to where it's in primary position to pick up what I'm saying.
That's fair.
Because, yeah, I basically have to look one way to check the stream and another way to actually look at the actual screen that the game is being played on. But we're making good progress with House of Wolves.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, basic goal is to get through both Dark Below, which we have, and House of Wolves, which means if we're able to do that, next time we come back in, it'll be a time for us to go and, well, commit to some regicide. It'll be time to go up against the Taken King.
Oh no, I didn't expect you to take down Sunu. It's all fun and games until you take down one of the monarchs.
Are you honestly trying to compare Sunu to Oryx?
That is very fair. That's like comparing two very different personalities. No, you're probably taking down the Dark King Queen that is Scorpio. That's probably a far better comparison.
We found Skolas once. We can do it again. We just need to identify his next target. I bet I know how we can get started. Goodbye, Guardian.
It's grim, but I think the dead orbit
Okay,
has
so now got to head over to Venus, patrol it, and collect fallen ship links from fallen vandals. Yeah, gonna have to find a good spot with plenty of vandals then.
Incredible to think Venus was once a bastion of research and learning. Maybe someday it will be again.
Alright. Let's check over this way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was 4 links for 1 vandal.
You need how many?
100.
Ah. So you need to kill 25 of them then. Ooh, what's the green glowy thingy?
Spirit Bloom.
Ah.
A resource used to upgrade certain pieces of equipment.
Gotcha.
Like, for example, this one shotgun that I've got. Here it is, the comedian. I need Spirit Bloom in order to upgrade it. So
Gotcha.
if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get 2 more pieces of Spirit Bloom so I can fully upgrade that one while I'm here. Yeah, we've got some taken too. Ooh, got 25 out of that one. Yay, loot chest.
Oh, okay.
And there we go. That gave a nice little boost. Can we get lucky again? And no chest in this cave.
Good to know, though, that's not tied just to the Vandal death. Oh, okay, so the Awakening of the Dead Ghosts are Grimoire Fairs. Got it.
Yep. One of the means of getting Grimoire cards back in D1.
Okay.
Not getting a lot of luck on loot chests.
Mm-hmm.
Not this run. I remember spending a lot of time running around this area, just looking for ways to harvest Spirit Bloom.
Mm-hmm.
There we go, last one. Alright, time to go and speak to Varix.
Nice.
Yes?
Oh yeah, happy new year to Dragon.
Not easily cornered.
Yeah, it's officially Chinese New Year then.
I think we're getting there. I forget when it actually is. But yeah, apparently the upcoming one is the Year of the Dragon.
Expert assassins follow their scent.
Which is not bad.
Are you going to your ship now? Where did you leave it?
We're going up against the Silent Fang? I've been waiting for this. I've fought the Fang before, Guardian. They're tough, but we're tougher.
Ooh.
Let's take
Koi Pond that looks pretty nice as an avatar decoration.
Okay, looks like we're heading over back to Earth and to the Cosmodrome.
Nice.
Before I earned my post as the Queen's emissary, I served her in the Reef Wars. The Silent Fang are assassins, killers, real charmers. During the war, they went after our commanders. They'll do the same to the House of Devils. Varix and I know all their tricks, though. We'll get them.
All right then, time to hunt some fallen assassins.
Nice.
We think they're gathering at the Cosmodrome gates. Best we find them before they do what they do best. Watch your back. In the war, I led an attack on the Fang during the Cybele Uprising. We managed to kill or capture most of them. Only reason we won, I think.
Well, I reacted too slow for that one.
What do you say? Ooh.
Trip mines.
Ah. Those are always fun.
Giving the Telesta a break and using the hereafter a bit.
Guessing that's your sniper.
Yep. This is one of the exotics that has not been brought over to D2 yet.
Oh.
Yep. Once I don't have a whole bunch of fallen shooting at me, I'll go and show off what it's capable of.
Okay. So I'm guessing exotics are just special weapons.
Weapons and armor. You can only have one exotic weapon and one exotic armor equipped at a single time.
Gotcha.
And they have powerful, unique abilities.
Okay.
The Hereafter sniper rifle, for example. This one has its intrinsic unique as the Hereafter, where when you crouch, it increases the scope zoom and makes it easier to aim under fire, so less flinch.
Okay.
Also has the ability Perfectionist, where the magazine is refunded if all the shots you fire are precision kills. And finally, precision kills with the weapon cause a bright flash that can blind nearby enemies. So, not too shabby, not too shabby.
Indeed.
As far as I can see it, this one has some potential. It could be brought over to D2. Like example, the blinding light. That can easily be brought into D2 if it's changed to arc blind and give it some synergy with the arc 3.0 builds.
I see. I will nod my head.
In Witch Queen, they overhauled the light subclasses to match the high level of customization with aspects and fragments that they made when they released Stasis, the first Darkness subclass.
Okay.
And the way all the subclasses run now is they operate on a number of verbs. Like for Arc, for example, one verb is Amplified, where if you become Amplified, you can run faster. There's Jolt, where when enemies are jolted, they do less damage, and when you do damage to them, arcing lightning goes out to damage enemies in the nearby vicinity. Which also serves to as a stun for overload champions.
Okay.
There's Blind, which prevent for Arc Blind, which prevents enemies from attacking you, and just blinds enemy players. So a lot of things for builds going on now do their best to try and take advantage of synergy with the verbs that go along with the different subclasses. And like I said, for this one, this could easily be a sniper rifle that does arc blind, which also makes it a reasonably effective anti-unstoppable weapon. Though granted, you need to get with it as it currently is, you need to get precision kills in the vicinity of an unstoppable champion to get the blind effect. But still. I wonder if they bring Perfectionist over to make it so you can get your mag refunded, because they've had issues with weapons refunding ammo in the past where it's been nerfed, but things like but in this case, the mag refund is entirely based on getting all precision kills. So not exactly going to be broken as far as just being able to use all your ammo and not have to worry about running out of ammo, especially in like a boss fight. And of course, the one particularly interesting thing is the crouch to change the scope zoom. Yeah, I think I might have gotten turned around a little.
Just a little.
Verix, why have the devils deployed so many traps?
Devils can detect comm signals as well as we can. They may know. The wolves have their scent.
Yeah, these guys are throwing a lot of booby traps in these halls.
Mm-hmm. And when you got you might want to check in on Skippy's little adventure.
The Fang probably helped Skolos escape. But rumor has it the Queen gave him to the Nine. How did the Fang get Skolos past them?
That is another faction that we have not heard a lot of in a while.
Yes.
In Destiny.
Wolfcom's
the
just
Nine.
beyond the wall. That has to be the Fang.
Who are the
Eyes up,
Nine?
Guardian.
Not a lot is known of them. I mean, with my limited knowledge of the lore, they're basically kind of, best I can describe them as sort of extra dimensional entities, like maybe living dark matter, just part of the universe itself.
Okay.
That was Commander of the Fang. He just called you a... well... it was an insult.
Yeah, I do have a nice new mouse nowadays. Pretty neat. Yeah, apparently you can change out the panel on the left side of there now, so you can change it from one of 3 different button schemes. So either you have 12 buttons over there on the left, or you have 7 that are in a circle, so they're easy to like access any of them, or you have the standard like 2, like basically the back and the 4. So it's just changing out the panel can give you different things you can do. Neat. And thankfully that mouse was also on sale when I got it. That's always
Nice
a
work.
plus.
You denied Skolos the House of Devils. But there's another fallen house on Earth. I'd be willing to bet he's going after the kings next.
Well, one hunt done. More to come.
Nice.
I am
Oh.
honestly kind of curious as to where the story is going to go once we get past the final shape.
That is fair.
Because, I mean, whether you like the like or don't like the build up to the Witness, the Witness is our current big bad boogeyman that we have to face down. But what comes after the Witness? I mean, based on what little we know of the episodes that they're planning to use to replace the seasonal formula, and I mean, we can probably make some guesstimates as to potential ways they could go, but we don't fully know how the new things are going to function.
Fair.
I mean, the first one looks to be a Vex-themed episode, so all we've heard is that the Vex in general, I mean, if you excluding the Soul Divisive, which are the faction of Vex that ended up allying with the Witness, but the greater Vex, they're basically just sitting back and waiting for the two behemoths, that is the Guardians and the Traveler versus the Witness, to basically let us kill each other and see who comes out victorious before they do anything.
Nice.
We're doing good work out there, Guardian.
I mean, that's totally a mode.
Yep.
In their own way, the Kings are even more dangerous than the Silent Fang. Get out there.
And the next one after that looks to be focused on Fickrul.
Good luck out there.
The Fanatic. So, he's been basically kind of in hiding since after the period of Forsaken, and that portion of Forsaken got sunset.
Okay.
So, he's been kind of in the background building his own kind of Scorn basically his own Scorn house, building a actual bit of culture to it. So
okay.
I'm guessing are you familiar with the Scorn?
No. Like I said, I don't know much about when it comes to this one.
The Scorn, basically, they are fallen zombies.
Okay.
So, fighting the Fallen, using the power of darkness in the form of dark ether, dead Fallen are resurrected and transformed into these entities called Scorn.
The House of Kings is unique among the Fallen.
Okay.
And Fickrul was the first ever Scorn.
They hide in the shadow of the Cosmodrome.
Okay.
Waiting.
So,
plotting.
He's probably gonna make himself known again, judging by the looks of it.
We're all in trouble. I'm game. Damn. I'm getting a lot of interference down there. Hold tight, guys.
And the third one that we know of looks like it's going to be Hive themed.
Okay.
And the most likely bit of aftermath of the final shape that's going to be Hive themed is Xivu Arath.
Try to find the source of the interference and stop it.
Okay.
Because in the previous season, the season of the Witch,
jamming signals with high
we
servitors.
ended up going and effectively we made Xivu Arath, the Hive God of War, vulnerable.
I shall be your guide.
You see, the thing about Hive Gods is that Hive Gods have a kind of a pockets dimensional space called the Throne World.
Okay.
And as long as a Hive God has their Throne World, you can kill them all you want, but as long as they still have their Throne World, they'll keep on being revived.
Okay.
Typically, the only way to kill a Hive God for keeps is to kill them once out here, and then follow them go into their throne world and kill them in their throne world.
Okay.
That's basically how we defeated orcs. We killed him once out in this world, and then chased him into his throne world and killed him again there.
Okay. Let's see, Oryx. That was the one with the big ass ship, or was that the son of Oryx?
Oryx, yeah, he's the one who came in and parked his dreadnought over in the rings of Saturn.
Yeah, and then the whole like kablooey thing to like someone else's like armada or something.
Yeah, the Awoken fleet. But we'll see that with when we get to the next stream where we start to take them.
Nice.
Savathun, well, everything with Savathun is complicated. To try to make a long story short, Savathun, she got wise to the fact that she realized that the worm that gives her her power, which is what helped her become a hive god, it's one of those things that it's never going to be satisfied. The more she feeds it, the more hungry it's going to get, and it's eventually going to reach a point that no matter what cunning, no matter what style, what trickery she was going to use, in the long run, eventually she'll reach a point where she can't keep her worm sated, and it would feed on her and kill her. So she basically struck a bargain with us and the Awoken. Well, let's just say she took one of our own as hostage, and used him as a bargaining chip that she'll give him back if we remove her worm, which we did.
Okay.
I was house judgment scribe to
but the thing is,
wolves.
once a hive has their worm removed, that's basically the same as well, they can't survive without it after having it. So she ended up, because she lost her worm, well, I'm now starting to go into spoiler territory for the Witch Queen campaign, so
I don't worry, no worries.
yeah, but for anyone watching this now,
That's fair. That is very fair.
I'm gonna give you a few moments of a spoiler alert, because yeah, Witch Queen is the last expansion before the one that we're currently on, Lightfall. So it's been out for a while, but still giving you fair warning for. If you want to avoid spoilers, now's your chance to just take a few moments, because I'm about to like I said, go into spoiler talk here.
No worries.
Okay. The spoiler warning time has elapsed. Once Savathun had her worm removed, she died. So, so us fighting her, thinking she had some kind of big plan. Apparently, she had already died for her, and the reason and the whole mystery of how she stole the light, which is why in Witch Queen we were basically fighting Lightbearer Hive Guardians, is she didn't steal the light. She was gifted it.
Oh.
A ghost found Savathun's body and revived her.
Okay.
So she didn't steal the light. It was given to her.
Okay.
So.
Excellent.
So the ghost, that's your little floaty buddy?
Yep.
Barracks, are you with us?
Every guardian
yes,
has
I
their
am
ghost.
here. Kings will see Wolfpack as well. They will not be pleased.
The wolves are
Okay, so that
approaching
brings up a
Wolf
question. So,
Command Center
okay,
beyond
so if
the
every
rocky
guardian
gap.
has a ghost, what made the
That must
ghost?
be where the kings are
The
hidden.
Traveler.
Okay.
At the time of the collapse, when the force, when the Black Fleet first attacked, one of the last things the Traveler did before it expended its energy and went into hibernation was to create the ghosts.
At the Battle of
Okay,
Twilight
and
Gap,
who?
the devils, the kings, and the House
I
of
forget. I
Winter
think you
joined
explained a little
forces to
before.
take on
So,
the city.
who's the Traveler?
The House of Wolves
The
could have
big
turned the
white
tide
ball,
for the fallen.
all that
my
for the
queen
longest time
interfered.
was sitting over the last city.
Okay.
Basically, what the people of Earth, the last city, began to view as a god of light, because with the power of the light that it gave, it allowed humanity to quickly advance into a golden age, which allowed them to rapidly advance their civilization and start colonizing other worlds.
Okay.
Of course, the Traveler has its enemies.
You are here to deny Skolas,
and the Black
House
Fleet
Kings.
ended up following the Traveler
They will
home.
not know.
Okay, and who's the Black Fleet?
They will try to
The
kill
forces
you.
of the Witness.
Kill them back.
Okay.
The pyramid
I'm detecting
ships.
lots of activity from the command
Okay.
center. I think you dropped the servitor jamming just in time.
If Kings detect
Yeah, the only real bit of knowledge I have on this is actually from you.
they have met his match.
And the little bits I vaguely remember from the Achievement Hunter streams of the raids. But for the most part, I didn't really learn too much from that one anyway, because that was mostly just a bunch of crazy screaming.
Yeah.
Funny crazy screaming, but still crazy screaming.
Yeah. And if you want to dive more into the lore, which I definitely recommend, because I do enjoy the lore of this franchise, I'd recommend you look up videos of certain Destiny lore masters.
Okay.
Two of the big ones that come to mind are Evase and My Name is Bud.
Okay. Because I think the reason why I didn't really look too much in this one is because initially there was so little lore in the actual series. It was I'm guessing a turnoff to me back then.
A lot more has come into it.
That is fair.
Especially in D2, pretty much every exotic has a lore tab to it. There's a lot more you can read in-game. And there's plenty of YouTube and other places that have tirelessly been working to archive everything to keep the lore going.
That's good. Yeah, because it was probably the lack of lore, and I think the fact it was an online multiplayer was basically what probably turned me off from really this game. That, and I don't think actually I had anything that could actually run it, so that's probably the main thing.
Well, if you ever do want to give it a try with at the very least with the free-to-play New Light experience, I'm more than happy to help you out.
New Light?
Basically, after they went, because it's still a bit of a sore spot for a lot of people. After they went and sunset most of the pre-Shadowkeep content, in D2 they created the New Light thing to give newcoming Guardians a spot to just sort of get them just an entry point before they start playing.
Huh, okay. You said it's free?
Yeah, the base version of D2 is free to play. Granted, if you want to go beyond the free to play stuff, you'd have to actually shell out the various expansions. But at the very least, it's enough for you to get in and start playing around with new things with some of the places, and just see how things are, and if it's improved, if it's your thing or not.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I've always had more friends who play Destiny.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. So the base Destiny 2 is free. It's just buying all of the different content. Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
The wolves are
Okay.
dead, and the kings.
Holy
well,
fuck,
still
that was a
danger
lot
to
of
the
money.
city. But at least they don't
Yeah,
work for Skolos.
I
call that a win.
That is one
Come on
downside.
back,
A downside with the current layout is that getting caught up to current in D2, it can be a bit pricey. So, plus,
Let's put it lightly. It's like $540 for like everything.
let's see. Yeah, because you got the Forsaken pack, which is all the stuff from Forsaken that hasn't been sunset. You've got Shadow Keep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen, Lightfall, Final Shape coming up, the 30th anniversary bundle.
Okay, so where would I start even with the DLCs? So I'm seeing, I think, the 14 different things here. Like, okay, so I'm guessing you said the Final Shape was the last thing?
Yeah, it's the most recent one that's coming up.
Okay, and then there was Lightfall before that?
Yeah, Lightfall is the most current one, and getting Lightfall would allow you to unlock and develop the second Darkness subclass of Strand.
Okay. Oh, is it Legacy Collections for, like, all the old, like, D1 stuff?
Legacy collection, I believe that's basically just the pretty much everything from D2 that's. Hold on, I actually have to go and look at it because I think
Like I'm looking at their next. Thing is, I'm not seeing like any of the ones you're talking at the moment, like the ones you're running through at the moment. Because I see Witch Queen, Beyond Light, Shadow Keep, Forsaken Pack. But yeah, I'm not seeing like any like the ones you're currently doing because it looks like Legacy might be the older stuff. Oh no, that's Legacy. So that is the Witch Queen, Beyond Light, and Shadow Keep. Okay.
So Legacy Collection's probably your most cost-effective thing because it'll give you, again, Witch Queen, which will give you access to weapon crafting. Beyond Light, which will give you access to the first Darkness subclass, Stasis.
Okay.
And Shadow Keep as well.
Okay. Okay, so that would... Oh, okay, some of these other things aren't even, like, full on DLC areas, they're just, like, weapons and shit. So I'm seeing a Forsaken pack, which looks to be a bunch of weapons.
Yeah. Yeah. It helps give you access to some of the Forsaken weapons and also as well certain things within the Dreaming City, because that would like, if I'm not mistaken, that would also include the Last Wish raid.
Oh, it includes a raid too.
Because the Last Wish was the big raid that was released during Forsaken.
Okay.
Again.
Okay, there's a few different things here.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently there's the Armory collection is the one that's 30th anniversary and Forsaken pack put together. Got it.
Because
there's
the 30th anniversary pack will give you access to the 30th anniversary content, which includes the Grasp of Avarice dungeon.
Okay. Okay, and this DLC is just a bunch of, like, silver emotes and a bunch of other cosmetics. That's the triumphant silver one. Throne of Atheon emote bundle, so that's just a bunch of silver emotes and cosmetic nonsense.
Yeah.
Good hunting.
Silver Wish. Okay, that one's also just stuff that can be ignored. That's just a bunch of cosmetics. Okay, so if I were to actually look at it, so... And the thing is, some of these ones are actually on sale at the moment.
Enjoy.
Because looks like...
Oh, it's nice to get them when they're on sale.
Yeah, like the Legacy Collection is 75% off at the moment. And the Armory Collection is also 75% off.
Ooh,
And
that is a big discount.
yeah. Then there's also apparently Lightfall and the Annual Pass. So what's your term for an Annual Pass?
The annual pass for Lightfall gives you access to the full Lightfall expansion and all of the Lightfall seasonal content, including the access key to the two Lightfall dungeons and the Lightfall all raid. So it'll
Okay.
give you access to the dungeons, the ghosts of the deep, and the warlord's ruin, and access to the raid, the root of nightmares. I believe and someone out there correct me if I'm wrong, that the reprised raids are open to everyone. So you should, if I'm not mistaken, you should be able to, if you're in there, once you get your light level up high enough to participate in the Crota's End raid.
Okay.
As well as Vault of Glass and King's Fall.
Okay.
Not many of those left. Is that all?
Ooh, the Palace World just put out a big update. That's nice. Okay, the store.
Alright, Pal World did do a big patch, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, looks like it. Quarter of a gig.
Yeah, fixing the some of the bugs that came up, including that that kind of really big bug with the statue that is supposed to raise your catching efficiency.
Ah. Okay, so Legacy is Witch Queen, Beyond Light, and Shadowkeep. So if I were just add that to the wish list, that covers those two.
Mm-hmm.
So Witch Queen, Beyond Light, Shadowkeep.
Yep.
That's three things.
Basically, three expansions for you to sink your teeth into.
Yep. I'm just trying to match up now how much all this would actually cost. Okay, so you covers Witch Queen, Beyond Light, and Shadowkeep. So those three immediately below you are covered by that. Then we have the Armory Collection, which covers 30th and Forsaken. So if I had you, so then you basically covered these two things. I could ignore that one, and those two there, and that one there, because they're just silver and cosmetic shit. They don't have any other, like, redeeming things, right? They're just cosmetic shit?
If I'd have to look at them, but I would imagine so. The big ones that you would want if you actually want to go deeper than the free to play version would be stuff that gives you access to the expansions and related content.
Yep, I'm just checking out each of these for now. So Season of Wish Silver, that is just silver. Emotes, one-time purchase, so only available. Yeah, okay, so that one's skippable. And I think the other two are the same way. I'll just have a look-see though. But for the most part, if I were to leave that out, that actually drops the amount of money down by a lot, especially with the current big things being for sale.
But yeah, you can safely ignore the silver bundles. That's just to buy stuff from Eververse.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so Armory does those two, Legacy Code does those two, so then the only other things would be picking up Lightfall and Final Shape.
Yep.
So if I were to go in, add them all to the wish list. So then if I were to go in and select all these and throw them into, well, first off, yeah, I'll add Disney 2 to the library.
Yeah.
Boop. Yep, there we go.
Yeah. Although personally, I'd recommend holding off on final shape until it's closer to the actual release date, because it has been pushed back once before, so.
That's fair. I'm just currently having a look yet because that one is not on sale at the moment, so I can.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so if I were to add all this into.
I'm getting a fallen comm channel interlaced with Vex coding.
What does it total out
seen anything like this before. He's mad.
Let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, Lightfall, Legacy, Final Shape. And 30th anniversary. Okay, so that would give 194. But honestly, most of that is coming from the final shape and the annual pass for that. So if I were to remove you, because that was like almost 200 bucks.
Yeah.
But if I were to just go with the 3 that are basically giving me everything else, so Lightfall, Legacy for those 3, and the Armory for the other 2 things, that is technically 69 bucks Canadian.
Damn, that's not too shabby.
Yep, that's mostly from the fact that each of them are, like, 2 of them are, like, 75% off, and the Lightfall one is 67% off, so. You know what? I mean, I know I have someone here I can play with.
Yep. I mean, heck, if we can, especially if also if you wanted to, we could actually drag his ass in here. There's also MT.
Yep, but I first have to do the scan to see, can I run this?
Oh, yes.
The one program I must always try out before I make a purchase, because the few times I have not has bitten me in the ass, but later I did pick up this system which did solve that, so still, it's good to know.
Oh, definitely.
Destiny 2. And I assume all the DLCs would still have the same min and recommended specs.
Yep, because it's the same game.
Yep, okie dokie. Waiting for it to gather the data. Yep, do the detection. Boop boop boop. Let's have a look-see. I think I should meet minimum. I don't know about recommended, but I'll see. I shall see in a moment. Thanks to this fun little oh, fuck me. Okay, yeah, I can actually do both. I got minimum and recommended. Nice. Okay. Okay, I mean, for that amount of money, what I'm getting, it's...
You're basically you're paying the equivalent of one game, and you're getting basically 4 expansions, and well, if you combine the kind of guide because of sunsetting, and compare that with the 30th anniversary kind, you're basically getting 5 expansions for the price of 1.
Yep. Okay, that is pretty... The only downside is I am going to be nailed, though, by my provincial tax for this. Oof. Which is 14%. But, I mean, that's still worth it. I mean, that's basically a AAA title. That's actually cheaper than a AAA title right now.
With how they've recently been inflating the prices, hell yeah.
I know, we're up to what now, 60, 70?
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, at least in US dollars, it's for the longest time it was 60, but they've started going up regularly to 70 and trying to push it even higher.
Ugh. Disgusting.
Yep. And let's not get started on the likes of just of a certain company that's trying to they want to get you to normalize you don't own your games anymore. That you're just a
Yeah.
Let's not
yeah,
get started on that kettle of fish.
Yeah, let's not. It's already depressing enough as it is.
Crazy is the good
Okay, while I'm here, I'm also gonna check on Horizon Forbidden West, because that is coming out in March.
Awful stuff.
Icky, I only meet the minimum. Icky, so what is actually holding me back? Oh, fuck me. The video card and the CPU. That might be a purchase I'll skip out on. Oh well.
And I forgot that this quest took us part ways into the Vault of Glass.
Oh yeah, isn't that its own raid?
Yep. The Vault of Glass, the first raid ever in Destiny.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, yeah, that was the first raid. I remember the crowd playing it.
Yep, first was Vault of Glass, then we got Crota's End, then we got King's Fall, and the one of the purposes of me going and doing this whole stream run is the one that I missed out on, Wrath of the Machine.
Nice.
Counter sniper, bitches.
Yeah.
Bad, very bad.
Ooh, that is a big
Wolves
game.
trying to tap oracles, big glowing
110
squares.
gates.
Guardian, destroy
okay.
the oracles, destroy them fast.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna make that purchase though.
Oracle has appeared.
Actually, no, also making us do some of the raid mechanics.
Okay, so let's.
Destroy.
Okay, so that's 6936 gains another 1041 because of Newfoundland taxes. So it's just under $80.
Out of my way, you jackasses.
I can agree to that. Bada boomski, that has been added to my account. Okie dokie. And before I forget. Forwarding that money to the person I got that out of their PayPal account for. Ah, I hear the sus. Oh, do I also hear a nickname?
No.
Oh, how's the bean doing?
I'm okay, I live.
Yes,
Oh,
we live.
Tis good to
Totally
hear.
not screwing up in another campaign.
Oh, that's not
Not
good.
really. I mean, it's your fault.
I mean, you forget that I'm walking around with 4 balefire eggs still.
Exactly.
And it's amazing that I haven't managed to set one off yet.
Okay. What genius decided to give you not 1 but 4 balefire eggs?
They were found. And
pretty
I
cheap.
just took a hold of them.
Pretty cheap.
Yay. Okay, well, that has been done. That has been purchased and has been paid for. Oh.
I like how I didn't even, like slowly avoiding it. Me. It was them.
Yes, they gave them. And it's like, yeah! Despite how we saw how bad it was when a Kraken set one off in Captain's game. Because their range is stupid to get out of. High damage. And a big fuck off range to get out of even just the first increment.
And now starts the process of installing this. Oh good, I do have enough free space. That is
What
good.
are you installing?
I just picked up Destiny 2 and the bulk of the DLCs.
Ah.
Yeah, apparently they were on sale for a massive discount before.
Yep, 2 at 75% off and 1 at 67% off.
Nice.
So So it came out, so with my provincial tax added onto it, it came out to be just under $80 Canadian. For everything but the final DLC, which wasn't on sale.
Yeah, I doubt they're going to be putting the final shape on sale anytime soon.
Yeah, but I mean, I am a long ways away from being remotely close to being able to play that one.
You know, I mean, I've heard mixed things about Destiny 2, where it wasn't as good as the first one. Or not many were happy where Destiny 2 went.
I'll say this. I like the aesthetics of especially with me going back and replaying it. I like the aesthetics of D1 more, but I love the gameplay of D2 better.
I mean, in some cases, even though games don't ask for a sequel, the mechanics in some are probably good, but their story or aesthetics are ass, to put it bluntly. Which is a shame.
Yeah, actually, before I do that, I'm gonna go and uninstall a few things.
When you want to, assuming that I'm not in the middle of stream or words. Assuming I'm not in the middle of a stream or it's something else has me busy, I'd be more than happy to join you and help you run through the content. Shadowkeep, Beyond Light.
Hey, I definitely would be looking for the aid. Okay.
Oh, that reminds me. I guess at some point, whenever my schedule opens up, Orsk, we need to pull you in to once more get the bean into guerrilla warfare.
Oh jeez, it's been a while since we last did that.
And we still need to do more Power World.
We do. Speaking of which, they just put out a big update.
They did? Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, they're doing a game glitch fixes on that. I'm actually, once again, liking how Power World is actually going out. They're addressing the bugs, they're fixing them, and doing a hell of a lot better than any other game I've seen so far.
Indeedy.
And so quickly, too.
Okay, that's looking a lot better, so now I'll install Destiny 2. Yeah. That's still going to be a bit, though.
I think they're saying that the rate that they're putting on the major updates, the roadmap, they might actually put the items out faster than we're thinking. They might.
That's good to hear.
Or that's what
with
people
the amount
are
of
speculating.
I mean, with the amount of revenue they're pulling in from it, they can definitely get a lot of work done off of that.
I think they're speculating that the next one, with people looking into the files, or you know how the data miners go in and they just like to peek to see what the next thing is. They're speculating it's going to be raids. It's going to be the next one.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for them to get the thing in where you can have crossplay.
The crossplay.
Yeah, because Potato can't handle Power.
I'm honestly hoping crossplay is on is high on there, but they're probably going to release them with a grouping.
I mean, if it was the same list I saw, crossplay was the highest thing on there, and just below that was the ability to move your accounts around. So basically, move your characters from like world to world.
So they'll probably pair crossplay and the account moving in the same big update, and then most of everything that has to deal with the raids in the same patch update, grouping-wise.
Probably. But yeah, Nate, I'm looking forward to this. Don't expect me to be into the whole PvP thing. PvE, I'm all about.
Yeah,
I enjoy that.
I'll admit, I'm not that big into the Crucible.
So, he tried to conquer the
I'm surprised he had a bit more fun in the Crucible in D1, but then again, in the Crucible matches I was able to get into in D1, it was the Mayhem version. Long story short, Mayhem Crucible, anytime you got a Mayhem game mode, it means your ability regen is cranked up to stupid, so it's just grenades, powered melees, and supers all game long.
Well, then again, with some PvP, like, if it's done right, it could be interesting, but then you got PvP, like, there are some PvP I don't like, where it feels like it comes off pay to win, where, like, you're the noob, and then you just get ganked by someone who's, like, all high-powered gear, high-powered weapons, high-powered
in this
powers, and they just pick on the noobs.
In this case, you could argue it's people who are, like, I believe the phrase is sway tryhards, who go and try and just abuse the meta, try and chase those meta god rolls, and just use some of the cheesiest builds. It's not pay to win. They still have to put in the time and effort to actually get those god rolls to drop for them.
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like this is probably an old game, and honestly, there's probably going to be mixed opinions. But, I mean, if something like a PvP where it feels like it's done right, something like Team Fortress 2, it's still going.
I mean, yeah, TF2 is... I mean, TF2 is always a solid thing. It's never gonna die.
Oh no, it's never gonna die, and honestly, everyone's on the same level playing field, even if you switch skins or that.
Whatever he's up to.
Even if you are a tryhard, it's all skill-based, and everyone's still on the same level playing
Better
field.
start climbing, Guardian.
Compared to something like Destiny 1 or 2, where, like you said, they go for the meta in god rolls in everything.
Well, I look forward to playing this with you.
I'm looking forward to it too.
Okay, so what are the classes? I faintly remember a few things, like Warlock something, and there's something else.
Warlock, Hunter, and Titan.
Okay.
Strong gravity
I'm currently in this D1 one playthrough you're seeing right now. I'm playing as Warlock.
I'm assuming if basically a magic user, Titan's the tank, and the Hunter is like the sniper stealth class. Kinetic-wise.
Yeah, if you were to compare them to the more fancy classes, yeah, the Titan would be the brawler tank, Hunter would be the agile rogue, and the Warlock would be the spellcaster.
Okay, so what can the Warlock do?
One of the things that sets Warlock of the different classes apart, aside from their thing, because Titans, they got the big bulky armor, they've got the mark that hangs off their the class and the mark that hangs off their waist. Hunters have their cloaks, Warlocks have their bonds around their arms.
Okay.
Some of the purely mechanical things that separates them all off is their movement ability and their class ability. Warlocks have a glide ability, Hunters have double jump, and Titans have a hover. For class abilities, Warlock's class ability, is something that they gained in Destiny 2. Warlocks have their rifts. They can drop either a healing rift where you stand in it and it heals you, or an empowering rift, which when you stand in it, it raises your offensive capabilities.
That speaks to me.
Hunters, their class ability is the dodge. The two primary dodges is one dodge you dodge to reload your weapons. Another one you dodge when near enemies to instantly refill your melee ability.
Okay.
Titans is the barricade. You have a tall tower barricade and a smaller rally barricade which you can kneel behind, which increases your reload speed.
Okay.
They all have their unique melee abilities, which are dependent on what subclass they're using. And since the Light 3.0 upgrade, you can basically have access to all the different grenades.
Okay.
Whereas before, each class has had their own unique set of grenades.
Skolas's catch. This is it, Guardian.
Yep. Going to pause for a moment. Jumping puzzle.
Aha.
Or rather, don't want to fall to my death. Especially since I'm in a respawn restriction zone.
Oof.
Okay. So, yeah.
The Vex tech here matches
As
a
far
signature
as
from the Vault of Glass. These machines
once you pick
fade
your
in and out of our
main class,
timeline.
Titan,
Watch your
Warlock,
step.
and Hunter, you then can have once you unlock them and level them up. Which in this case, leveling up is just purchasing aspects and fragments as well as the different grenades apart. Because you still start with the basic grenades that you would have at the beginning, but you can purchase and to learn using Glimmer, the in-game currency.
Okay.
You can use Glimmer to speak with Ikora for the light subclasses at the very least, to learn all your aspects and fragments. And your aspects and fragments are kind of one of the core parts of how customization works.
Okay.
You can select one of two. You can select two fragments of the ones you have access to. The two fragments will give you energy. The two aspects. Sorry, I'm getting the names mixed up.
Okay.
With the two aspects, depending on the strength of the aspect, it gives you energy, a number of energy charges.
What?
The more powerful the
there
aspect,
the
fewer charges you
and the
can
number
use.
keeps growing.
And those charges give you is what opens up slots for you to slot fragments, which give you extra customization options.
Okay. And I'm assuming the game has a pretty good tutorial on like all these little ins and outs.
I honestly don't know because I've never really gone through the new light experience.
Well, I assume I'll be the guinea pig. I don't mind.
Scenario, oftentimes you can have the ultimate tutorial, which is an experienced guardian, a veteran going along with you.
Yep, I've done that before back when I used to do WoW. That was a while ago. I think that was Warlords of Draenor when I dropped off. That was a few expansions ago.
Quite a few at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope, you won't be able to unlock the two darkness subclasses until you get to the end of the respective expansions that they were introduced in.
Okay.
Beyond Light for Stasis and Lightfall for Strength.
Okay.
So starting off, you'll be operating the Light subclasses.
Okay.
So the three light elemental subclasses are Arc, Solar, and Void.
He just said, I stole
Okay.
the gift of freedom, secrets of time.
As you can see right now, I'm currently operating on a Solar subclass.
Okay. So what's the difference between those three? Oh no, you're almost dead.
I got booped off.
Oh yeah. The stream caught up to your boot.
For a transmission.
Oh hey, I managed to kill him before I died.
Nice.
All the grenades.
I thought of you as just another mote of light.
Okay, so what's the difference with these three subclasses you mentioned?
Accept my thanks and the promise of a fitting
Arc is basically a lightning themed class.
Skolas
Solar
to
and
me.
Fire. Void is
Capture confirmed.
Void Light.
I almost feel sorry for
Okay.
Skolas here. Conversations with the Queen can be harsh.
Now to
Anyway,
get into
I'll
that,
meet you back at the reef.
especially since we're now
your
dealing with
reward.
the light subclass 3.0s. They each have their own things. Void is how best to describe it? Because they each have their collection of verbs, which are are aspects of the subclass. Solar, for example,
Okay.
is probably can be the most support thing because it has verbs like cure and restoration. Cure is just
Ooh.
a flat heal. Restoration is a health regen, which if you can trigger it, well, helps with survivability. It also
Mm-hmm.
has offensive verbs like scorch and ignition, where if you
Okay.
scorch enemies, they take burn damage, and if you get a high enough stack of scorch on a target, it triggers a solar ignition, which is a massive damage solar explosion.
Okay.
Arc. Arc is often about speed, because you can become amplified, which can affect your other arc abilities and allow you to run at the max possible running speed.
Okay.
I talked earlier about things like blind and jolt, which
Yeah.
blinds enemies, and for combatants makes it so they stop attacking you. Jolt lowers their damage output and allows you to do chain arc damage.
You did well.
Okay.
Void
A
has some
glorious hunt.
interesting ones, like
Almost ashamed to see it end.
like weaken, which weakens enemies, makes them take more damage.
Okay, so sounds like Arc does a lot of crowd control, but Void sounds to be like a nice debuffer.
Yeah, there's suppress, which also suppresses enemies and keeps them from using their abilities. Volatile, which when they're made volatile, do more damage to them and they explode. And Devour, where if you've got the Devour buff up, if you get a kill while you have Devour up, it will refresh Devour's duration and heal you when you get that kill. Void is also the one that has Overshield built into the kit.
Okay.
Thank you, Guardian. The Kell is in chains,
Interesting.
and I can't wait to get back in the field. The Queen and
Yep.
her Awoken
When
are
you get
in
into
your
the
debt.
darkness subclasses, they have verbs like with stasis, for example. So the big verbs for stasis are slow, freeze, and shatter.
Okay, yeah, so crowd control one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to some extent, they all have various degrees of crowd control. It's the flavor of it, because slow slows them down, makes it so they move slower. Get enough slow stacks going, and the enemy will just freeze outright. And if you do enough damage to a frozen target or to a stasis crystal, it will shatter, causing explosive damage.
Okay.
And then we get to strand with verbs like sever, unravel, and suspend.
Okay.
Sever is a debuffing one that reduces the amount of damage they deal. Unravel, basically it makes it so when you do damage to them, little bolts start spewing out around the area, unraveling other enemies and dealing damage. And suspend, you literally suspend them up like puppets on a string, keeping them from moving.
Okay.
Thank you, Guardian.
And of course, the various supers.
We have passed
course.
judgment on Kell
What?
of Kells. This is as
Yeah, yes, Snackman?
I said, of course. I was just listening.
Oh, okay.
I can chime in every once in a while.
I know, it just sounded like you said my name.
Oh no, I said of course.
Okay.
I can see where you get it mixed up.
Good hunting.
Of course, Ors. Yeah, I hear it now.
Ask your questions.
Hmm.
That's why I was like, yes?
Is that all?
And I do believe that was the last of House of Wolves.
Nice.
Very nicely done. So let's take care of this little bit here. Let's see, anything else that we can try and do before we wrap things up?
Well, if we've wrapped things up, we can head off and watch those 3 episodes.
Mm.
That's it, if we could convince the bean to stay up.
I don't have work tomorrow.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I have a dentist appointment, so I took it off.
Yeah. Think about my goal to get myself powered up to where I can be strong enough to raise, to actually go into the raids at their higher power ratings. I'm gonna be a little bit hampered to that because a number of the things that give me the legendary marks I need, those are all connected to like story and strike stuff related to Rise of Iron, which means I can't in good conscience go and do that without seeing the playing through Rise of Iron first. So depending on how things go, there might be a bit of a gap between me finishing the Rise of Iron campaign and going and doing the D1 raids. At the very least,
No worries.
Wrath of the Machine.
BRB.
Because... yeah.
Mm.
Well... Well, regardless, we managed to complete the goals for this stream. We've gotten through all of the Dark Below and the House of Wolves. So
nice.
That leaves me with a little bit more of content I can push through with off-stream grinding. And the next time we come back to Destiny 1 and our next trip down down memory lane and nostalgia, it is to be regicide. We go after the Taken King. Oryx shall fall. Ooh, it's gonna be fun to do that, especially since that's the Taken King is where some of the storytelling for D1 started to really pick up, and we got so much of Cade in there. Oh, I miss you, buddy. I can't wait to see you again soon. And yeah, I've been playing a Warlock in this run, but I am a Hunter main. I mean, I can still have fun with Warlock and Titan, but yeah, primarily I am a Hunter main, so... oh yeah. So, yeah, to play into the memes a little bit, if you'll pardon me. Yeah, I don't go around flying around a lot out in the skirts, and I'm definitely not a cran eater. Yep. For those who don't get it, that's some of the memes that go around around from regarding Warlock and Titan mains, that Titans are do a lot of eat crayons because, you know, big dumb Titan punch everything to make it work.
I like punch.
But yeah, like I said, I enjoy and have fun with all of the subclasses, even though Hunter is my main. I still have fun with Warlock. I still have fun with Titan. I've actually been giving my Titan a little bit more love in D2 recently because for a while I was just leaving Titan alone because I basically had built up my inventory with weapons I needed to spend spoils of conquest on to use with deep sight harmonizers, so I didn't want to progress things, so I had to risk accidentally losing them because the postmaster is full. So I'm kind of making up for that with playing it a little bit more now and having some fun, trying to come up with some fun builds. Like, for example, one I've been having a lot of fun with because of its insane survivability is just taking advantage of the strongholds with any sword. That is crazy, the kind of stuff I can survive with that. And for you guys in here who have no idea what I'm talking about, the Stronghold is a Titan exotic arm piece that has the effect of it basically maxes out your defensive stats for your sword. So I can hold the guard for my sword in pretty much indefinitely, and I pretty much take no damage when that sword guard is blocking. And furthermore, when I'm guarding, I gain stacks of a perfect guard bonus, and when I get to the max stacks of 100 perfect guard, if I attack an enemy and hit them with a sword swipe, it gives me 16 seconds of restoration times 2, which meant if I was impossible to kill before, for the next 16 seconds, oh, I am not dying at all.
Ooh.
Neat.
But
just had to go to make sure the cats haven't killed the dog yet.
Wow.
I don't know if you're serious, but I can see it being realistically possible.
Well, remember, it's 5 cats to 1 dog.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Don't worry, they get along well. It's just that some of them do like to push the dog's buttons at times.
Right. Well, in that case, for now at least, that is going to wrap things up. So, made some really good progress, and I'm looking forward to returning to the Dreadnought and facing down Oryx once again.
Neat.
But for now, let's get some thank yous going out there. Thank you to James again for the 40 months of Tier 1's resub. Holy crap. Again, when I see numbers like that, it's kind of doesn't feel real that I've been doing this for that long. And thank you to everyone who came by to participate in the chat, and everyone who came by just to go and lurk. And of course, I am always appreciative of good company. So, Scorpio, nickname, or thanks for swinging on by.
Always.
No worries. Happy to be able to rant for a little while.
I didn't anticipate it, but yeah, I'm actually looking forward to unintentionally getting another friend that I can play Destiny with.
DD.
Alrighty, so that's going to be it for now. So I'm going to go drop a little raid on Fiara since she seems to still be streaming.
Yeah, apparently they had a bit of a connection issue a few minutes ago, but it's back up again.
Oof. That's a mood.
Stuff happens. It is.
So, yeah. Thanks again for coming, everyone. And if I want to be a little bit cheesy and borrow from one of those Destiny lore masters, since it's fitting, the old saying, per audacia astra. See you starside, Guardians. Take care
Nice.
now. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.